Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Today is Commonwealth Day, and Jamaica, like others all over the Commonwealth, in the Caribbean and the Americas, Africa, Asia, the Pacific, and Europe, will highlight the strength that exists among these countries that are working together to promote prosperity, democracy, and global peace. The theme for Commonwealth Day 2024 and the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting is One Resilient Common Future, Transforming Our Commonwealth. Come, we have another stimulating show for you, and it starts with the news.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan, and this is the JIS News for Monday, March 11, 2024. A new trading platform has been launched to provide local manufacturers and exporters with information to identify and enter new markets and successfully promote and sell their products globally. The online platform, dubbed Export Jamaica, was launched last week by the Jamaica Trade Board Limited. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce Senator Albin Hill says the new trading platform is a groundbreaking global market intelligence and compliance gateway.
A lot of it will assess business in identifying the right target country, forge meaningful connections that transcends borders, a whole heap of them, but it also help customs duties calculator, selling price calculator. In other words, this is about trade. Our calculators are there to help you do trade. Calculate your duties, calculate your landed costs, calculate your selling price.
The website will give users access to information on import and export compliance requirements. It will also allow them to form meaningful connections through business directories, trade shows, and marketplaces.
Our vision for the platform is clear: to lead in the provision of vital market intelligence that plays a pivotal role in supporting Jamaican businesses as they ambitiously expand into markets around the world.
The Trade Board also unveiled its newly rebranded logo at the function. A cutting-edge legal information portal for the digitization of the laws of Jamaica is to be established soon. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahou-Fort made the announcement as she addressed the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament last week.
The aim of this portal is to improve public access to the laws of Jamaica, educate the public about all aspects of legal information, and provide a facility for the public to express views on and query the status of any law.
Minister Malahou-Fort says the project is being funded by the World Bank under the Competitiveness and Growth Project. She reveals that a contract valued at over 30 million Jamaican dollars has been awarded to a European firm. The minister says work commenced on February 19 of this year and should be completed by February 2025.
The portal will provide advanced search functionality and expanded availability of laws in various forms, with a particular focus on access to the Jamaica Gazette publications, as well as content giving notification of various seminal, judicial and legislative developments.
The government will be boosting its funding of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency CPFSA in the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams says the agency's budgetary allocation has been increased as part of government's commitment to supporting vulnerable Jamaicans.
As we continue to support one of the most vulnerable groups in the society, it should be noted that the allocation to the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, has been increased by about almost 8%, from $4.41 billion to $4.76 billion for this upcoming financial year.
Minister Williams was addressing last week's meeting of the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament. She also advised that special education accounted for almost $3 billion of her ministry's budget. This includes allocations for assessment, utilities, rental, boarding, grants, school supervision, and compensation.
We have 10 segregated schools, which include primary and secondary, roughly 2,500 children, special needs children. There are also students with mild disabilities that are in regular schools. We work with 17 private schools and entities and provide them with grants as well.
Jamaica will be hosting the 10th Biennial Diaspora Conference from June 16 to 19 with a stated theme of being united for Jamaica's transformation, fostering peace, productivity and youth empowerment. The conference will be held at the Montego Bay Convention Center. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, says the theme recognizes the need for unity in a world that is generally fractured and one in which tensions and geopolitics pull countries and people apart.
It's a time for us to reflect on embracing our second, third, and fourth generations. It's a time for reflecting on our growth and development as a diaspora and in terms of engagement. It's a time for looking at how we enhance our engagement and seek increased participation by members of our diaspora in national development initiatives, as well as for cooperation among our regional groups.
The minister was addressing the internal stakeholders' launch of the conference on Friday. And finally, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is set to open the budget debate in Gordon House tomorrow. The minister is expected to outline how the government will finance its $1.3 trillion budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. The debate continues on March 14 with a presentation by the opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson. Next week, opposition leader Mark Golding will make his contribution on March 19. Prime Minister Andrew Holness will address the Parliament on March 21 before the Finance Minister makes a second presentation to close the budget debate on March 26. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Between January 1, 2023 and December 31, 2023, were you a parliamentarian or a public official acting or appointed to a position listed in the Jamaica Gazette? Well, you are required to file a statutory declaration of assets, liabilities, and income as at December 31st, 2023, and any outstanding statutory declaration on or before March 31st, 2024. Get the new statutory declarations form from our website. Find out more from your Human Resource and Administration Division.
The Jamaican government is proposing to spend $1.3 trillion for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025. But how many of us know what this announcement, made in the tabling of the estimates of expenditure, means? To give you a better idea, watch this feature.
Over the last few years, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service has been working on a program to make the national budget more accessible to Jamaicans. The government is accomplishing this in part through the development of a national budget secondary school tour, which ran for 2 weeks in April. A document called A Citizen's Guide to the Budget has also been created to garner greater understanding of the government's revenues and expenditures for a particular period. With $1 trillion in the budget for the fiscal year 2023-2024, a simplified overview of the budget will assist Jamaicans, in this case high school students, to better grasp what the country is doing. Understanding where the money comes from to pay bills, how funds are allocated, and management of the public debt are all explained. Taxes generate most of the country's revenue, with the general consumption tax (GCT) being the main source, followed by income tax, customs duties, and property tax. When raising revenue, it is vital to understand how the cash will be used. This is why Portfolio Minister Nigel Clark did the math.
With $1 trillion of budget, about 30% goes into debt service. So let's say approximately 300 billion. Everybody got that? Yes. And then the next biggest the biggest single item is wages and salaries. And that adds up to about 370 billion. So how much have we gone so far? 300 plus 370 is about 670, right? The next 15 items overall, after the first three, take us from 700 billion to just about 800 and $800 billion. A budget, by necessity, involves intergenerational compromise. That intergenerational compromise has to be fair and equitable. If we tilt it too much in any one direction, it generates inequity in our country. If we take all of the money and we spend it on people who have retired, it means nothing for today or for tomorrow. If we take all of our money and we spend it on things today, we just put it in salaries, which is just for today, then it means we have no investment for the future. And you, students of today, represent our future. One of the best ways for us to invest in our future is through capital expenditure. And capital expenditure means expenditure, the fruits of which last for a long time, right? So when we build a new school, that is capital expenditure. That's investing for the future. A new hospital, a new highway. One of the most challenging things to do in a budget exercise is to make sure that we achieve the appropriate balance between yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For a young country, a country with so many persons under the age of 25, I would argue that investing for tomorrow ought to be a major consideration in every budget exercise. A very important part of our budgetary provisions is to make sure that our education system continues to turn out competent and qualified individuals. As we seek to improve our economy and to grow economic output, the surest way to do that is through investment in human capital development, right? It is the productivity of the individual citizen that will ultimately determine the productivity of the overall society. So ensuring that each one of you has what you need to learn is critically important. And the budget is geared towards making the necessary provisions that each student in Jamaica can have what he or she needs in order to learn. Because our future depends on you.
To find out more about the country's budget, visit the Ministry of Finance and the Public Services website at www.mof.gov.jm.
Calling all creators, join the JIS Creators Challenge.
We want to see your unique perspective on why you love Jamaica.
Whether it's through a Jamaican adventure, arts and craftsmanship, or Jamaican cuisine.
A party lifestyle or a celebration of our Otamaniwan people culture.
Unleash your creativity in a video 1 minute or less, showcasing why you love Jamaica.
Follow us on all our platforms for more info on how to enter and prizes to be won. Stay tuned!
Working in the agricultural sector as a producer of foods and animals can be very challenging. Instances of predial larceny, too, can make the experience a bitter one. The Agriculture Ministry, though, provides incentives to individuals in the sector, and if you are one such individual, here's what you need to know.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, in its continuing effort to support Jamaican farmers and foster economic growth, is offering an incentive program. Currently, the ministry has 3 incentives for farmers and farming enterprises.
The approved farming enterprise, which has 2 parts, productive input relief, which we call PIR, the income tax relief. We also have 20% duty concession on vehicles for use in agriculture. And we also offer additional stamp duty waivers on raw materials for manufacturers. For approved farming enterprise, PIR, this allows waivers on applicable duties and taxes on certain inputs for the production of primary products used in the course of conducting farming operations in 5 categories. The first category is agricultural crops, livestock, poultry, or dairy. And when we say production of primary products, we mean the cultivation, growth, breeding or rearing, or otherwise activities in these categories. Apiculture is another category, forestry, horticulture, and aquaculture. To be a beneficiary of the 20% duty concession incentive as well as the approved farming enterprise incentive, farmers or farming enterprises must be registered with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. The application process for PIR, the first step is for the farmer or farming enterprise to apply through their parish, RADA parish office. The application is then sent to the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, and we make a recommendation on your behalf to the Jamaica Customs Agency. The Jamaica Customs Agency conducts a verification visit and approval is given by them. This benefit is received at the port. The other part of the approved farming enterprise, income tax relief, through the Income Tax Act, it allows farmers or farming enterprises that can write off their losses incurred on the farm against profits of another trade or business. The process for this is, once again, you apply through RADA. The ministry makes a recommendation to the Tax Administration of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Once this is done, a certification will be given by the Minister of Finance. For the 20% duty concession on vehicles used in agriculture, we have a criteria, of course. The first requirement is to have a minimal annual production gross return of 250,000. And then we have minimum requirements in terms of crops and livestock. So for example, for food crops, 3 acres at least, vegetables, at least 2 acres, goats, 300, pigs, coffee, 3 acres, and all of this is available on RADA's website. For farms 1 to 10 acres, you're entitled to 1 vehicle. For farms 11 to 49 acres, 2 vehicles. And for farms over 50, you're entitled to 3 vehicles. And we must emphasize that the vehicles eligible are trucks, commonly known as pickups, not panel vans. The CC rating has a limit for gasoline 3,000 and for diesel 3,200. This process, once again, we show the importance of being registered with RADA. You apply through your RADA office. The ministry then makes a recommendation to the Jamaica Customs Agency. This is valid for 6 months. And then you will collect your copy from us and you take that to your dealer.
These incentives are intended to encourage farmers to save exponentially while opening new opportunities for expansion. To apply for these incentives, visit your local RADA office for more details. Now, begin to grow through incentives.
Teachers, students, all stakeholders in education, parents, this transformation is not going to be possible without you. We need all hands on deck. Parents, parental engagement is important. We need you to visit your schools. You don't have to be invited. Make an appointment. See your teachers. Build that relationship. Support the program of education at the school. Play your part.
Did you know that critical thinking is crucial for everyday living? The decisions you make daily determine your successes or failures. Now, what if I told you there's a sport that can help with your critical thinking and might just help to bring out the champion in you?
problem that cannot be solved easily. It will take more thoughtful strategic planning than just a simple 1, 2, 3-step solution. This is because chess players must consider a wide range of options before planning their next move. A process champions Aaron and Ariel have mastered.
There are so many benefits of chess. Chess helps with your mathematical skills. Chess helps with your reasonability. Chess helps with strategic thinking. Some people don't understand. Chess also helps with your patience level. You have to be patient to play the game of chess. Chess helps with the discipline, going through it. So the discipline of, sticking to it, getting a task done and completing a task and things like that. So when I learned of all the benefits of chess, and how it helps overall in terms of the development of a person, I said, my children will have to play chess. I started teaching my daughter when she was 3 years of age. I thought, well, if there's any time to start them, 3 should be good enough, So she started at 3 and she continued to play to date, and she's still playing now 16 years of age.
When you're living in the same house as your coach, it's kind of difficult because you can't get into practice late because you're in the same house where practice is. Everything has to be very on time. You do badly at a tournament and you come home and you're still hearing about the tournament because your coach is with you. But you do well and you come home and you still get the congratulations and everything. I feel like I'm a more analytical person. I'm very observant. A lot of things I look deeper into than other people would. A lot of people are like, Ariel, how did you notice that? I'm like, well, it's there. But I realize a lot of people don't observe it like I do. I wouldn't say I'm an amazing math student, but I definitely would have been a worse math student if it hadn't been for chess. You learn to listen and you take your time with the problems and you kind of work through them.
My son, he saw her playing when he came on the scene, when he was almost 2 years of age. And he said he wanted to play chess as well. I'm like, huh? So he came along and he said he wanted to play. So I said, all right, let me try him out to see how would he respond. So I started teaching him, he started making a move. By the time he was 3+, he was now checkmated. That's historic. They don't get them at that young age to start checkmated. You get what I'm saying?
Hello, my name is Erin McCoy. I'm 11 years old and I started playing chess at the age of 2. Chess helps you to think critically, also helps you with your math, which will be very useful later on in life. So chess is actually very good for education as well. Helps you focus.
Oh, I'm not sure we have time to count the amount of tournaments. On average though, when Jamaica Chess Federation puts on tournaments, you might have an average about 6, 7, 8, about on average 8, tournaments per year, on average. And most of the time, they are participating in those tournaments. Average, they'll do 8 to 9 tournaments per year locally, right? And then they'll also have international tournaments.
First of all, going to an international tournament is very nerve-wracking. You're representing the country, especially since whenever I've traveled, it's been in small groups, not necessarily big groups. So the whole country is counting on you, and whatever you do, the country is either going to applaud you for it or judge you for it. So it's very nerve-wracking.
Sometimes I might feel a bit nervous or a bit worried. And then the other time you're excited and you're ready to go.
Because of what I know chess does, I've written a book to reach more people. All right, so you're gonna move this bishop here. It's written that anyone can take up the book. You can take up the book. And you can decide, oh, I'm gonna learn how to play chess.
Yes, I would encourage anyone to play the game, as your age doesn't really matter. It still has its benefits.
Play chess because it really helps you as a person. It helps your patience, you analyze, you observe. It really builds your self-esteem if you do become a good chess player.
Not only that, chess, you see, is a lot like life. One wrong move and you're backed into a corner. But having the right players in position will earn you a checkmate. In other words, build a reliable team and learn to play well with others.
We are hoping that the time will come to be able to track these cards.
Hello, the house are burned down.
And punish those who are doing this.
All too frequently, a unit is unavailable for an actual fire emergency, merely because it is responding to a false alarm.
And it results in most instances to a waste of resources that could be used for more productive purposes. So I want to encourage members of the public to desist from this practice. We tend to see a spike in false alarm calls during the summer when the kids are home. Because they are home, they have their cell phone and they see it as fun to dial whether 110 or 119 to say that there's a fire somewhere. So I want to encourage parents to pay attention to that as well.
My name is Bruce Croxon. I'm the founder of a fund called Round 13 Capital that invests in Canadian technology companies. Well, my ties to Jamaica go way back because my mother is actually from the island. She comes from the parish of St. Mary, and so some of my very earliest memories are of visiting the island. I think Jamaica is an incredibly special place to visit. It starts with the terrain. I mean, it's physically a beautiful island. I mean, you go from high mountains to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, and you can get some amazing views, you get some amazing cultures, and you get some amazing greenery the further you get from the sea. What people don't know about Jamaica is that there is an incredible number of side trips and explorations that you can do. There's some incredible adventure to be had, whether that's hiking in the Blue Mountains, or surfing on the North Coast. A lot of people don't associate Jamaica with surf. There's some good surf there. Jamaica is much more than tourist destinations. There's a whole island to be explored and probably more smiles per capita than any other country I've visited. So I've always felt very welcome there.
Thank you for being with us on Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow for another interesting journey. Of course, you can visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.